You having fun?
Yeah.
Excellent. Look, these people are having fun. Woo! Is everybody else having fun?
Yeah!
Okay, that's a little bit better. Right, okay, moving swiftly on. Anybody watch movies?
What?
Yeah, these things, it's motion pictures, all of that stuff. Anybody like that Transformers the movie?
Yay!
Yeah, the cartoon, you know.
Oh, the
everybody
cartoon,
dies. Yeah, that one, yeah. Okay, so if you might remember, last year Zavi did a special edition version of Transformers the movie in 4K. And I'm very pleased to welcome the man who was the cover artist on those DVDs and has done some incredible movie posters for an incredible amount of brands over the course of his career. Ladies and gentlemen, a big hand to Mr. Matt Ferguson!
Yeah, doing.
It gets hot. How are you doing?
Good, how are you?
Yeah, I'm not too bad. See, I've got a microphone, you've got a lapel mic, so you're just talking and I'm thinking, well, they can't hear you, but obviously they can.
Yeah. Just gonna call myself someone.
This is high quality content, ladies and gentlemen. Right, okay. So, Matt, thanks very much for being here. It's wonderful to have you. We have got some really cool behind the scenes stuff to talk about in regards to the work that we did on Transformers. But before we get to that, you have a very unique career and a very unique job. You make movie posters.
Yeah.
Not just any piece of artwork, it's movie poster. How in the world do you become a man that makes movie posters?
I sort of made movie posters. Just became a job. Yeah.
That's it, you just made them. But what are some of the brands that you've worked for?
Marvel.
Yeah.
Disney. Star Wars. Amblin. Other stuff. Star Trek. Transformers.
So basically, like, almost like all of the major brands. Has anybody seen the Multiverse of Madness poster? You did that?
I did two for that.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. So, what we're going to do is we're going to take a look through the Transformers the movie poster and sort of break it down, or one of the ones that you've sent over. But before we get onto those, how did this job come about?
Well, I'm quite vocal online about why I like Transformers. I'm always like, oh, look at me, I bought Transformers. I like Transformers, and I guess they saw that. So they said, do you want to do some artwork for the new Transformers? That was in America. Then the UK people, which were manga, but now they are Crunchyroll, I can say they're Crunchyroll? Funimation, Crunchyroll, manga?
Something like that.
They asked me to do the UK one, and then Zavi were like, oh, this is good, we'll do a whole range of stuff. And I got to do it all, which was quite fun.
So basically what you're telling me is, tell people you like Transformers online and good things will happen.
Yeah.
There we go, ladies and gentlemen, life advice for you.
Golden rule.
Right, okay, so let's take a look at some of this stuff, because I think this is really fascinating. Because when I look at, well, that's you. When I look at this, I mean, first of all, I'm speechless. A round of applause for this, ladies and gentlemen. It's good, isn't it?
It's all right.
Yeah, it's not bad. So this was for the 4K release. Just out of curiosity, when you're putting your posters together, is this an image that comes fully formed in your head, or is this something that takes a long time to develop?
Well, it depends on the property. So if it's like a new film, like Doctor Strange, I've not seen the film, so I kind of have to sort of fly by the seat of my pants. But with something like this that I've loved since I was 3, it's all right.
It's alright, yeah, just leave it on.
Sorry for disturbing.
No problem, mate. Round of applause, ladies and gentlemen.
The brief was to do your dream Transformers poster. Okay. Obviously, like keeping it within some remit of shelf. Sort of, they wanted it, people who didn't know the film to be interested. in it as well. I was like, they're not going to be.
I was going to say, because if you look at the middle of that cover there, it's a bit of a spoiler, isn't it? Fortunately, it was released in 1986, so, you know. Okay, so let's break this down a little bit. We can talk about this, because there's some really fascinating things going on here. When I look at this, and me being somebody who is not an artist at all, I think to myself, you just drew that. But there's a lot more to it than that, isn't there?
Yeah, don't just draw stuff.
Yeah. So some of it is hand-drawn. So this was a rough sketch.
Yeah, that's like a collage. So I'll grab stills from the movie and other bits and bobs and just smash it together to get a feel for what I want it to look like, which kind of did.
And it's interesting that in both versions here, sort of you've made Rodimus the centerpiece there.
Yeah, well, I see lots of people don't like Hot Rod and Rodimus Prime, do they? But he's my favourite, so I don't care.
It's Nick Roche in here. Okay, so this is an early mock-up then.
Yeah.
And in terms of, you know, the submission process and things like that, is it the case that, you know, you're handing this in and people are making suggestions and edits, or are you pretty much free to...
Yeah, no, there's suggestions and edits, and like when we were doing this, it was on the run up to the 35th anniversary, and Hasbro were obviously involved, and they've got a new toy line, not so new now, so there was talk of doing it, sort of using the new toys as a respect sort of thing.
So as
And I was like, no, animation.
I was about to ask, yeah. So you were just like, nope, I'm going to have...
It was just a suggestion, and they were like, okay, fine.
Okay, so there's a really cool. I mean, this is gorgeous. So this is obviously RC and Daniel. Now, this is all just hand drawn, and then
Well, digitally, yeah.
Digitally.
Yeah, but hand drawn with a tablet, yeah.
and you do all the colours and inking and all
Yeah,
that
from
stuff.
scratch. Just trying to make it look like the cartoon, really.
Do we think it's succeeding?
Slightly more fleshed out.
Yeah. And that's kind of one of the things I really like about it is you've captured sort of that sort of blocking aesthetic to it, but like really added sort of a sense of motion to it as well. Which I really.
Well, that was kind of like a thing with them saying like the new artwork that they'd done for the boxes and stuff for the '86 line, which they sent me all. So that's really hyper detailed to sort of match the toys. But it made me think maybe I could bring a bit more detail in to this artwork to make it a bit more like an idealised version of the characters. Because when you pause the film, I mean, it's like, what's that?
Does it?
Whack that they do there, you know, the in-between frames and stuff. What? You can't get any reference, really, it's terrible.
And so, when you do these then, you mentioned there using the movie isn't a good reference point because, so what were you using for your references, or was this more sort of Matt's idealised take?
So there is some key scenes in the film where it's like a pose or a bit where they drew it a little bit better. I mean, everybody knows that there's like certain bits that are better in the film, so there's that. And then there was a resource online, TF.Raw or something like that.
Right.
And he's a bloke that collects all the old model sheets and stuff, and he helped me out and sent me a bunch of them. So I used the model sheets for character reference.
Ah, right, okay.
A lot.
Okay. How about that? So that's Cyclonus there. Over Magnus.
Yeah.
Can he deal with it? I think he
It's
does.
not right now.
No?
That version is
Springer.
Yeah.
And I love that every single one of these is done in this like dramatic pose. There's no, wasted motion or anything.
That's the box art thing coming through again, I think, because I've always loved the old box art, you know, when they were in an exciting pose. So
there's no sense in having.
And the original UK poster. That's like.
Which is really iconic, isn't it?
Yeah, I like it more than the US poster, to be honest.
Without doubt, yeah.
Much better.
Now we've got the Dinobots, so we've got Swoop here. And all of these are sort of individual elements that you've built that final piece on.
So you can move it around and then they can make suggestions as well. Like initially with Swoop, I had had him under the rubble, you know, because he flies in.
Well,
He just gets knocked out and it's like useless. So that's what I wanted to do, but they were like, oh, he looks dead. So you can't have him because people might be upset. And I was like, have you seen the film? They're all dead. He doesn't die though, he's the one that doesn't die.
I feel like there's one Swoop fan in the audience who's like, no. Well, I mean, it's probably not a good idea when Hasbro is trying to produce the toys that just...
If the toy came with some rubble,
I think that would be a really good idea, yeah? We'll get on to Hasbro with that. Actually, it feels like some third party. Bricks.
Yeah. Orange bricks.
The King. That's interesting.
Nice dino, eat bad bread.
Yeah.
So obviously, I assume that you're trying to reference the bit with the Decepticons coming in here.
Yeah, it's like when I get onto the shuttle.
Yeah.
But even when I did the scene in the art, it's not that bit. It's just sort of poses and bits that I like. I always like when instead of getting on the shuttle, they're just trying to bash in the Decepticons. It's good.
And it's just such an interesting choice to have a character from behind on the cover, especially one that's as iconic as Grimlock. Speaking of behind, there is Slug, and he's clearly running away because he doesn't want anything to do with what happened to Swoop. Now this is really cool. So we've got the original black and white pencils here.
Yeah.
But of course, as you say, this was all done digitally, wasn't it?
Yeah. So I start doing a sketch like this, and that'll be the basics that I then build the artwork on top of.
And I suppose the advantage of doing it all digitally, apart from obviously the ease of just adding and subtracting lines and things, is that you're able to scale it.
Yeah.
And as you see fit.
Move stuff around, scale it, change it very easily, so it's a lot more organic.
And that's it all coloured in, which is really, really cool.
It's only a little tiny thing on the front of the cover, but...
It is, and that's what I really like about this, is the fact that you get to see this, because, you know, I don't know about you, but my eyes aren't getting any better, and it's really nice to see the amount of detail that goes into these things. Cub. Now that's an iconic shot, obviously.
Yeah.
Taken straight from Transformers the movie, and then we've got the coloured version here.
It's one of those where I was like, it's got to be...
That shot.
Remember the line, you see it and you hear the lines. So.
Yeah. And, I mean, it's an interesting one here, just because, obviously, it's interesting to see the difference between the original line drawings and then moving into the coloured ones, just to see the slight changes that you make, you know, in regards to his face and things like
like the gun, his gun.
Well, the gun's interesting.
I couldn't get the angles right, so I ended up modelling it in 3D and using that for reference, just to make it look really crisp.
So there we have it. Now this I was absolutely blown away by when you first told me, is I didn't realise actually how much of that final image you've actually created in 3D.
You do quite a lot of stuff like that when you want to get perspective or hard edges right. It's very easy. You just block it out, and you can place your characters in like 2D splines almost in an environment, and it gets your perspective.
Yeah.
Right, straight away.
Do you find that, like, when you're doing these posters and you're having to work with so many varying elements, do you find perspective is the one thing that is sort of key to cracking out a good poster? Making sure that all of the elements just fit nicely together?
If it's like a complicated poster in an environment, then getting the perspective right will help. And doing it in 3D is a really quick way to do it. You know, when you've only got like a few weeks to do a poster, you've got to use all the tools at your disposal.
Yeah. And so, what's the, you know, when you're making something like this, so you made this for reference.
Yeah.
But you would then, once you had it as a reference, you then drew it onto...
Plonk it into the sketch, and then I'll just embellish over the top and stuff, you know, just to make it look a bit more hand-drawn and give it a bit of a
So that gun then is actually the 3D model.
Underneath the
Underneath.
painting, yeah.
Yeah. Remember the days when you used to just have a pencil and a piece of paper?
Not that.
No, well that's why you're a professional,
Yeah.
and I'm not.
That's why I can get it posted in a couple of weeks.
Yeah, exactly. That's terrifying, the amount of work that goes into this. It really is. On what's in.
Yeah.
Now this is rather fascinating because obviously this is a 3D model that you've built as well. Obviously, you know, classical elements taken from the movie, but it's interesting because there's not really an awful lot of shots in the movie that give you this kind of perspective
No,
of scale.
I kind of like had to go through the background paintings and go, well, I like that building, I like that building, and then kind of get a bit of geography through the film. None of it makes sense in the film. All the backgrounds change, and it's like, well, that's not even the same place. I'm not even interested in the same place, but it doesn't matter when you're watching the film. But like that building there is sort of like where Devastator's stands, but then it's also where Optimus Prime fights Megatron, and so that's the sort of where it chucks him down, kicks him off.
Yeah.
Well, never business.
Well, don't worry, I'm sure he was fine in the end of it.
Yeah, want to bet?
Yeah. You see what he did there? Okay, so here's the big one. Now, this I thought was. So, how long does it take to do this then? To actually make a Unicron in
That did
3D?
take a while.
Yeah.
I was working on that on and off the whole project really. It's a massive model because I made it essentially to scale. For some reason I thought I'd make it really big in the computer. You can set scale. And my computer crashed so many times.
So what you're telling me is Unicron broke your computer?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. And so when you're trying to render something like this, I mean, it must take, apart from obviously breaking your computer, it takes an awful long time. Did you choose to do Unicron because of the scaling issue, as opposed to just hand drawing it, or?
No, it's because I knew that there was going to be several different instances of it in the artwork. So inside the steelbook, there's the image of him. Then on the Zavi artwork, it's the sort of top-down view. Then on the front, he's from a different angle. So I thought, well, if I make it, I can just take shots from different angles and it'll be relatively accurate. Yeah. So that's why I did it, because it was in several different.
So really, in regards to like a project like this, it's not just about, you know, building these for a one-off, but as there was multiple covers and multiple different shots to be used in stuff, it's about reusing those assets.
It's like making an asset, but it doesn't exist, so I have to sort of make it.
We've got a couple more here as well. So this is the coloured version.
Yeah. It's not really screen accurate, but you know, it's close. And he changes in the movie anyway. But he's got different amounts of things in the more and stuff, you know?
Yeah. Well, this is it. Everybody always makes the same joke in Transformers the movie. Oh, Hot Rod never transforms the same way twice. It's like, nobody looks the same from shot to shot. Like, you know, it is a nice looking movie.
It's so fast and so fast paced that you don't mind because you just don't have time to catch up with it all and be like, that's not right. Why is that character there? Why is Snarl just stood in the background doing nothing? One shot.
Because he was smart, you see. So, this was another one of the...
That was the cover for the Zavi one, I'm going to say it's for the Zavi one?
Yeah.
Zavi one.
This was for the DVD and Blu Ray?
Yeah. In the fancy box.
And obviously, it's interesting to see from your original design concept, Optimus and Megatron fighting at the bottom made its way into this one. There we get to see, as you say, the stage that you built, but slightly different, or just at a different angle. Unicron up at the top there. Shuttle. Yes. I want to talk about the shuttle actually, because I love that design. It's an interesting contrast, isn't it, that on this side, which ends up being the front cover on the right-hand side, you've got all this chaos going on and stuff, and then you're juxtaposing that with this really tranquil moment. What was the thought process behind that?
I really like when Hot Rod and Daniel were fishing, so I just wanted to put it in and they were like, I was like, no, you don't understand this, it's brilliant, why is that robot fishing? Doesn't make any sense. But it's got to be on there, so they let me have it.
Why is Hot Rod my favourite character, fishing.
Fishing's cool. Yeah. Everything he does is cool.
What about that time that he tried to stop Megatron? Never
He's just
mind.
trying to do the right thing. He's just trying to do the right thing.
He's just trying to do the right thing.
Kids make mistakes.
Yes. But it's beautiful as well, though. Like I love this background that you've done. Was this all just hand painted, or
Yeah, just like
this is showing that Bob Ross a little?
Bob Ross did. Yeah.
Little tree and stuff. Yeah. And there's a closer look at Daniel and Hot Rod fishing.
Yeah.
It's
really weird that bit of the film is blurry.
Mm.
And I thought that they might fix it for the 4K, but it's just built into the film.
Right.
So they can't fix the blurriness. I think it's because they got the focus the wrong way around when they printed it originally back in the day. So the foreground is supposed to be out of focus, and they're supposed to be in focus, and it's the other way around. So the foreground's in focus, and they are.
So this is the clearest image you're ever going to see of Hot Rod Daniel fishing.
Yeah.
Now you'll get the good stuff. Well, I mean, it's all good stuff. But so this is the shot that was used for all of the covers.
Yeah.
Obviously, Hot Rod unleashing the power of the Matrix, coming Rodimus Prime.
Yeah.
Somebody tried to correct me there. Trust me, I know this stuff. And then we've got this one.
Still look, yeah.
Yeah, so this was the steelbook that they did. And again, a completely different cover choice here. This is the full image. Rodimus on the front, Galvatron on the back. Why the inside of Unicron? What was the thought process there?
I really just liked that whole bit at the end, and I just wanted to do that. And it was the steelbook, so that the idea with the steelbook is that that's for the hardcore collectors. They know the film inside out, so it doesn't matter that there's a spoiler because they know what happened. They know that he opens it up, blows up when his leg flies off. So they know that happens. So I just put it on. That's what I wanted to do.
And again, like any pushback in regards to that, because again, it's just Rodimus cool.
Yeah, they loved it. I think they knew that I was kind of a bit of a Transformers freak. I've got a Transformers tattoo and stuff, and I was like, I know what this needs to be. Okay.
I was going to say, I do wonder whether or not it was just like, it's not worth arguing with them. He's decided Hot Rod / Rodimus is going to be on this. Let's just move on and
That's what happened.
go for a sandwich. Yeah. Now this, again, 3D or?
Yeah, 3D, yeah. It's just like the easiest way to get all the shapes, but then you obviously embellish it a lot before the final.
And so what was the lead time for this project then, in terms of, because there was the steelbook, there was the regular 4K, there was the Blu Ray version. So what was the total production time on this?
Well, it started out as just a job for the Blu Ray, and that was like a month or so. And then it expanded to the UK Blu Ray, and then Zavi, and then this, and then that. So it ended up like 6 months. Me working on it, really. It was a long time.
Off and on, or is that?
Oh, off and on, yeah.
Yeah.
So overall, like, 2 months.
Right.
Which is quite a lot for a project.
Yeah. So this is quite cool. This is a time lapse of you taking your original.
Just taking pictures as I go, yeah.
Yeah. Just to give a sense of it.
Just build up the layers, start off with a simple block colour, and then just shade in. Yeah, just draw it, it's easy.
I love for you, it's just like, this is how you do it. For me, I'm just like, I'm much magic. Yeah.
Well, it's not really what it's like. That's like, a day. Furiously drawing. And then just taking a picture every now and again. There's a picture. And then hold it until 5 seconds.
It really is.
What do they pay him for?
Impressive.
Yeah, more 3D.
More 3D, so you've got your own 3D matrix, should you ever need one. Now again, in terms of referencing and stuff, the crystal on the inside, that's always an interesting one, isn't it? Because you never really get a good look at it because of obviously all of the light and things like that. Sometimes it's depicted as much more of a crystalline rock.
Yeah.
Sometimes similar to what you've done. What, in your mind, was it just the easiest way to do it?
It's literally just a sphere of
Yeah.
triangles, you know, a 3D sphere, and then you just sort of make the polygons hard edges so that it just goes fractal like that, which was easy for the reference. And then when I did the final, I actually did it more random rock-like shapes.
Optimus Prime is a little concerned here, he's a little taken aback,
Yeah.
because he doesn't know what's about to happen. But this was interesting because originally you had on the front cover the laser sword fight.
Yeah.
And then you've done this one as well, which again, the iconic shot of him taking him a Prime as
That happened with the US version, so they went onto the back because the hot rod fishing wasn't on the US one on the back. So the US version has got that on the back, and then on the front we put in Devastator and the Dinobots and all the other characters because obviously you need to see all the new robots. So people buy them.
So was that an editorial choice
Sort
for
of.
the US?
Sort of, and also because I knew I was doing the UK one, I wanted to make it different.
So basically what we're saying is we like robots fishing.
Yeah, English people like robots fishing.
The Americans want to see
Explosions and stuff, yeah.
Yeah, okay. Okay, so there's the movie poster.
That's the big Zavi poster. I've got a couple of them with me.
You have, as a matter of fact. Does anybody like these? So they're going to be available at your...
Well, I've got some of that one left, but I've not got many, I've got like 6 copies. And then, there's a new version, more I think at this convention. That's the US artwork.
Yeah.
A bit different.
So there's a lot of cool stuff at your stall.
Yeah.
Yeah, which will be available tomorrow.
Yeah.
So, cheap plug. So it took you around 2 months to do all of this, and then again these are just some of the extra bits of art that
I've got
were,
a quad.
yeah.
Which is a big
So the big quad posters,
UK-sized poster
yeah,
landscape.
which you would normally see in like movie cinemas
Yeah.
and stuff like that. Yeah.
I wasn't allowed to have credits on the posters for the Zavi ones.
All right.
So I came up with using that, which is the opening crawl from the UK version,
Yes.
which is different to the US version.
Yeah.
And they were just like, what is this? It was from you to sort of find a copy, take some screenshots, show them that it was the original, in the original movie.
Now,
Because they didn't approve it to start with.
now when you say that, you're talking about Zavi at this point?
Hasbro, Zavi, yeah.
Hasbro.
They had no idea what it was. It's fine because not many people do it because it's been, what, 25 years of DVDs with only that version on really. So the UK version's on a couple of DVDs maybe, and then VHS, so nobody knows that's come into it in the past 20 years.
So was there a reason that they weren't allowing you to put the credits on?
It's when it's a consumer product like that, you need to get a sign-off from various talent.
To just have their name
Yeah,
references.
yeah.
Yeah, right, okay. And so obviously use the opening text scroll.
Just wanted to give it something.
Yeah. Should have just taken credit for it, just said I'm a wonderful writer as well.
Yeah. Okay, well, that was an cool Megatron.
I think that's the one phrase from that thing that everybody remembers. The maniacal Megatron. And then this one, which again, so was this just another version of the quad poster?
I was literally just messing around because I did the tunnel from the beginning. Again, I had to sort of convince them to let me do that because the official logo now is the other one with its yellow writing.
Yes, yeah.
And the O isn't round. And they were like, why are you doing that O big? And I was like, because it's in the tunnel. I don't want to have the tunnel. It's like Tron.
Does it feel a little frustrating sometimes have to? No?
It's normal.
It's just the way it is. But I suppose when you're working on, say, a new poster, put it this way, I very much doubt you have to explain to Disney about a Star Wars poster, for example.
No, well, it's different, isn't it? And also, like, it's a niche movie, essentially. It's amazing that it got a 4K release, I think. And, I know that the vast majority of the rest of the world, not these people, aren't bothered about the 1986 movie. They just think of the Michael Beowulf and stuff, don't they? So
That's their loss, though, isn't it?
well, yeah.
Yeah, that's what big budget movies do for you. Now these are cool. Anybody want a pair of these?
I've got a couple of pairs with me.
Are they?
Not a shameless plug. only two.
So is somebody wearing them? I don't want to see your feet, but
Yeah. Over there. Look.
So where did that? I'm assuming this is complete marketing, like.
Yeah, they wanted a range of products, and I was like, oh, cool. And then they were like, do you want to design them? And I was like, yeah. That wasn't the shoes that I first designed.
All right, okay.
So you know you've got high tops and low tops. The first shoes I designed were I wanted low tops to be pink hot rod with the flames on, and then high tops to be Rodimus Prime with the slightly darker the flames.
And it was finally the shoes where they went, it's gone too far. It's not right.
That's what it is.
I love it.
You get the low tops and then the high tops where it gets bigger.
Yeah, I love that you've managed to convince people that robot fishing is cool, but hot rod inspired trainers, that's where they draw the line.
Yeah, especially when they're like bright pink. So it's like it's not a bright pink.
I mean, but
there's a bit of pink on.
you know, exactly. Yeah, it is so retro. Like, you know, it screams that 1980s vibe.
Yeah.
Transformers the movie. They are fantastic. And from what I understand, they come from where? So if you want a pair, so that takes us through the presentation. Did everybody think that was pretty cool?
Yeah.
So what are you working on now then? Can you tell us?
I can't.
No.
There's a couple of big movies coming out this year.
Okay.
I'm working on pretty big movies.
Some Marvel movies, possibly.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I know you can't because you're NDA'd, so it's impossible.
NDA'd.
Haven't got time. We've got some time for questions and things like that. So if anybody has got any questions for Matt, yeah, we've got a couple of hands knocking around.
Oh, you're right. My question is about the models that you developed. So I wondered, do you basically keep ownership of them, or did you have to hand them over as part of the project?
I still have them. They didn't ask for them to be handed over, but I can't use them because I don't have ownership. So, yeah, so they own it all anyway. But I still have them.
Alright, nice. I just felt like there's so much gone into them. It seems like a waste to leave them if they could be used for something.
Yeah, they might be used again in future for stuff. Depends really.
You could just start doing some kind of bootleg Transformers the movie poster
I
operation.
couldn't find the original UK cut. Again, that would really I'd love that.
That would be
I asked several times when we were producing it, can you get the UK cut? And it just doesn't exist in a high res.
Ah, is that what the problem is?
Yeah, so it's in DVD sort of quality, or video quality, but not 4K or even Blu Ray quality.
Ah, right, okay. So if you ever want the text scroll back,
Yeah.
you just got to pause the movie and do it yourself.
Right.
Yeah, okay. We've got a couple of questions, I think. There was some hands knocking around over there.
Sticking with the 3D models, what software did you use for them?
I use Blender because it was free.
As well.
I love. Does you know, you've worked for companies like Disney and Hasbro and all of that stuff. They could at least shell out to give you something a bit.
I've never asked.
Yeah.
So I'm just doing myself. But it's free, it works. So,
Except when it breaks your computer.
that's Unicron's fault.
I think there was a hand floating up. Yeah. Oh.
How many tries did the Unicron model have?
I didn't check. I'm not like that technical. Just make a big sphere, put a hole in it, put some big teeth on. Done.
How many times did it crash during making it?
Oh, at least 4 or 5 times it crashed. Mid working. When you just something really good and it crashes and you
hours of work. Yeah,
It's very nice.
Truly the chaos bringer. Yeah. See what I did there? You see? I think we had.
Hello, Matt. Great work, well done. It's lovely. I agree, fishing sequence is the best. Kudos. Any era, any poster for a film, what would you choose? And, sorry, 2 questions, I keep doing this. I like doing 2 questions, double questions. Which Transformers character could you get out of this to just draw for the rest of your life?
Right, any film would be Star Trek: The Motion Picture, 1979. And then, which character would I draw? Hot Rod.
In the same poster?
I'd do Hot Rod fishing, Hot Rod lasering shuttles, Hot Rod jumping off things, holding Daniel. I'd do Hot Rod transforms the car inside, because he's got that really cool dashboard inside where Daniel's like that. So cool.
While Vijay's just knocking around in the background.
When it catches Daniel and Daniel's on the hoverboard. Chopping up a squid underwater. It doesn't stop.
I think this man needs an intervention, ladies and gentlemen.
Punching out a shark's con and its teeth all fall out. That's bit.
I never thought I would find anybody more hot rod obsessed than Nick Roche, but I don't think we can have you two in the same room together. Otherwise, just everybody's going to be like hot rod mad.
Yeah, one hell of a repair bill.
Couple of hands just over there.
Hi, Matt. I've been following you for a little while, not in a stalking way, but just admiring your art. Now, I know we're here for the big robots, but I loved your Marvel stuff, particularly your WandaVision poster. That was one of the first ones that I really thought, ooh, this is different, this is nice. And it's different to the Transformers piece there, which obviously features lots of obvious details that we all know and love, whereas the WandaVision one, it's very much more subtle. You've got the reflections and you have to spend a bit of time looking for the little Easter eggs and the details. So what's your favourite way to work? Do you like bringing lots of elements that are very obvious, or do you prefer something that's a bit more of a theme, a bit more of a style, a bit different that you can play with and just hide your Easter eggs in?
Well, when you're doing something like WandaVision and it's only got a couple of characters on it, it's easier, so that's the way I prefer to work, yeah. Because I don't have to draw like 50 Transformers. So yeah, no, that's sort of more minimal way. Like the Steelbook, I really like doing the Steelbook on this because it was more focused.
Yeah. I think there was a couple in the corner over there.
Which model was your favourite?
Which Marvel film is my favourite?
Transformers the movie, obviously.
Was that model or movie?
I'm talking about which model he made from
Oh,
Transformers.
3D model. Yeah. I liked making Unicorn, to be honest, because it was a challenge to do it. So yeah, even though it crashed my computer.
Yeah. There's a gentleman over here who's had his hand up for a little while.
Hi, brilliant work, honestly. My kid will kill me if I don't ask. Where can we get some of those shoes from?
Well, they were from Zavi, but they've sold out. So, because they do like limited edition. So, yeah.
What sizes have you got in your tin?
Size 9. So they gave them to me for me. I'm size 9, so they gave me size 9.
Right, okay. How big's your son's feet?
He's 5. A long way to go yet.
Yeah. It'll be a great present for the 45th anniversary of the movie. I think there was, the lady.
I just want to ask, it sounded like you got at least a decent amount of creative freedom for this poster. For like some big conglomerate like Disney, Marvel, that kind of stuff, realistically, how much creative freedom do you get? Because obviously, they have all of the pyramids of scale heads and everything.
I get 100% creative freedom when I'm working with Marvel. The only limitations Certainly working with Disney and Star Wars, the only limitations is legal ones. So if an actor has to be on the poster, or you've got to have a certain graphic for the title or something like that. It's like on Transformers, the movie, there was a limitation on which logo I could use, which is fine because you want to use the official logo anyway. But yeah, so it's just legal limitations. Otherwise, Disney and Marvel give me, they just say make a poster, and we go okay, and then we just work it out.
Nice. Any other question? Oh yeah, there's a couple of hands over here.
Do you think they'll ever let you make a poster that's just all hot rods?
Probably not, but I would do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, hi. I was interested in how you did the light sources coming from the Matrix on Rodimus's face, because that looks quite intricate and difficult. Was that just hand-drawn, or did you use a sort of program for that?
The light sources, you mean like the streaks of light?
Yeah.
They are just the brush, like that. And then you can do in Photoshop, it's called a spiral blur, zoom blur, and that from a certain point will blur it out, so it just gives those sort of lines. So yeah, you do a line, then blur it, and it looks alright.
Sorry, I one more. If there was an episode of the Transformers cartoon that you could do a poster for, would you pick one, or is there a particular moment you think would look good for a poster?
What, like the G1 cartoon? I'd probably do the Damn fight from season 1.
What would you say?
Yeah, probably. Or I'd go scenic. I like the arc in the mountain and stuff, so maybe more scenic sort of back. The background art is all really nice. You could do that sort of fleshed out, and it'd be like a nice picture on somebody's wall. That's a nice picture of a mountain you've got there. It's got an icon in it.
Do you still ever draw for fun?
Yeah.
For you?
Yeah. The little sketches that I do, I've done Transformers ones with box shots, so they're like just portraits. I do them for fun.
Nice. Yeah, got a hand over here.
Yeah, so I'm assuming not about your favourite character to draw. Who would be your least favourite and why?
My least favourite character in the movie? The easy answer is Wheelie, but I actually quite like Wheelie, to be honest. So my least favourite character is Wheelie, yeah.
Why?
It's just annoying, isn't it? I quite liked him when I was a kid though, because he's like a kid. It's like when I was a kid, I liked Daniel in the Exo suit because I was like, oh, why not be able to get an Exo suit if that little lad can?
And when you didn't?
Hate him.
when little Matt woke up and there wasn't an Exo suit under the Christmas tree on you.
Sour. Daniel.
That's it. Yeah, over here.
Hi Matt, great work on the poster, absolutely love it, including the artwork you did for the special edition 35th anniversary. It's apparently Hot Rod is your favourite, but out of all the different versions, which would you say is your favourite version of Hot Rod?
Oh, way to stand on reinvention.
In terms of toys, I've got a lot of toys of Hot Rod, obviously. All of them. I like the G1 one because it's my original one, I've still got it. The new Studio Series one is brilliant because it's like, wow.
It's magic.
Posable, small, and really detailed still, and does everything, it's really good. But I've got this little fat, chubby one. It's like a really chunky little Rodimus Prime, like this. Just stubby little arms, and you can pull it back and it shoots forward. That's my favourite one.
Just imagine you sitting at your desk.
Yeah.
Hours.
I got it in Hong Kong. Nice one.
Do we have any more questions? Yeah, oh, yes, there's a couple over here. Sorry, I do apologise, this light's blinding me. So.
Very bright.
Hey man, I
just want to ask, do you have to be a fan of the property you're drawing a poster of? And would you still do a good job if you weren't a fan of it?
It helps to be a fan. And I'm lucky in that I am a fan of all this stuff. There's stuff that I don't do because I hate it. I won't say what it is because I don't really like being negative. So, but yeah, no, it really does help being a fan. So I would prefer to do stuff that I love because why wouldn't you?
Do you find that just helps influence your work? Is the fact that you pull out?
Yeah, you care about it more. So you like
yeah.
and you want to go on more of a deep dive and not just be like whatever. Fine.
And I suppose the other thing is as well, like when you're doing the poster for Multiverse, say for example, the Doctor Strange movie,
yeah.
You've not seen that movie when you're doing the poster. So you're not really able to pull out things like what we saw with Cup, that iconic shot of Cup. And I guess you must get a bit of a thrill out of it knowing that fans are going to be like, I get that!
Yeah.
Yeah. I think there was a question over here.
Oh, well, me.
Well, this is my first time in this convention, so this is not going to be it's not going to be my very first time. Well, not first time. Sorry, it's just the first time. Sorry. And you may direct, and this is as a fun question. I'm not doing anything detail-wise or anything. Okay. And if you ever direct a Transformers movie, what concept do you want to make?
I think I know the answer to this.
The multiverse.
The multiverse of Hot Rods. Yeah. Have you ever read Regeneration 1?
I don't read the comics.
Oh, right.
I'm going to be honest.
There's a multiverse of Hot Rods.
Yeah,
there's a multiverse of Hot Rods.
Okay. Yeah. Multiverse Hot Rods, cool.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you. Right, well, I think that's going to do it for us. Ladies and gentlemen, Matt is... He's going to be with us all weekend. He's got a stall in the trainer hall, so you'll be able to go over there. He's got his posters, he's got size 9 shoes, all of that fun stuff. The sketchbooks as well, which he's been putting up on Twitter, which are absolutely glorious, these headshots. Is there a one of wheelie in there?
If you buy something from me or more art, you get a little free wheelie print.
There we go. But yes, so go along, say hello, get something signed, buy something, it'll be very cool. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together.